Lovely, beautiful Wednesday morning it is, and welcome to the Lusaka Star Radio Magazine program, a program which discusses issues affecting our communities, and I'm your presenter, Godwin Lungu. This morning on the Lusaka Star, we look at youth and entrepreneurship, and my guest is Mr. Michael Nkosi from the YoLIFE project. Good morning, sir, and welcome to the program.
Good morning, Mr. Lungu, and good morning to the dear listeners out there.
All right, you are back, and the last time you were here, you were telling us what you are doing as an organization and what you had lined up before the end of the year, and possibly you are here to highlight some of the things that you've done in the last 3 weeks before we get to the main topic. What is it that has been going on in your organization?
Yes, a lot has been going on both on and off the field. We are delighted because a few weeks ago we mentioned to the people here on the radio saying that we'll be graduating 6 students, and that I beg to apologize. It wasn't even 6, actually it was 7. I had not taken my notes properly. So in the last week we graduated 7 students who have joined the team of ambassadors as the YoLIFE project. It is a very good thing. We are very much delighted to see to it that we are actually empowering, we are making a difference in the lives of the youths. It's been touching throughout this week because I've received messages from different walks of life and from different people just encouraging us to continue doing this work, and we just want to give a shout out to them, say we are going to continue. It's just a pat on the back for us to be able to run thoroughly.
And so you have graduated about 7 students from which fields?
So we have graduated 7 students. We have actually, let me be quick to mention that one of our students came out as best student for the year 2019 under metal fabrication. Yes, so we graduated 7 students. We have 1 in metal fabrication. We have 3 in power electrical, and we have 3 in food production.
So you had 3 in power electrical,
3 in food production, and 1 in metal fabrication.
3 in food production, and 1 in metal fabrication.
Yes.
Now, before we go even further, someone might be wondering what this organization is all about.
Okay, so the YoLIFE organization is all about youth empowerment. We decided as the YoLIFE project because we realized the path that the youth had taken was not an encouraging one, and we realized that the future of this nation lies in the hands of the youth, because we are alive to the fact that over 65% of the population here in Zambia, which translates to somewhere around 11 million, is actually youthful. And as such, we got interested into looking deeper into the lives of the youth and the rate at which the moral decay is on rampage. And we thought if we should continue in this path with the youth that are so untamed, then we have a problem. Actually, it is as good as saying we do not have a nation going forward. But we looked into the plight of the youth. We tabled these issues with them. We sat tinankala pansta chezanabo, and we were able to listen to them, and we realized that actually what they needed most was a skills empowerment, to be able to give the voice to them. At least with the skills, they will have where to start from, at least, and then from there we can pick it up to the next phase of the plan that we have for them.
Obviously, the 7 students that have graduated have added to the other number that you also graduated in the last years.
Definitely.
Definitely. So this number comes to how many?
29.
29.
Yes.
So you have 29 students that you have sponsored and are graduates. So
this is how we have done it. We have 22 that have directly received sponsorship from us, and we have 7 who we have partially sponsored. Okay, so 22 yes. have received 100% sponsorship from us. Yes. Then the other 7
7.
We have partially sponsored.
Partially sponsored. Why have you partially sponsored the other team, and the other team you've given 100% sponsorship?
Because we are a listening organization. There are some that have come with situations that needed prompt action, and as such we couldn't defer them to the next recruitment season. So then we said, okay, regardless of the timing, we have this course going, which is maybe a short course, and as such, for short courses we are able to stretch a little bit more for them to at least receive that skill. That's how we've done it. We call it partially because it was not the full 6 months of active learning and 3 months of the attachments, but it was just 3 months of intensive learning, which is a short course to us. And we feel, because it was packaged in such a way, we call it partial, because we do not provide all the necessary tools that we provide for the ones that go for 9 months. What do I mean? The ones that will go for 9 months, usually we provide uniforms, we provide the utensils that they may need in that particular course, all the equipment necessary. But for the ones for 3 months, we might not provide a uniform, but we may provide a few things that are of need per se.
You are listening to the Lusaka Star Radio Magazine program, and you, our dear listeners, you'll be given chance later on to come through and add your voice to what we are discussing on the number 0211 29 34 35. That's 0211 29 34 35. Your text messages can be coming through on 0965 830293. That's 0965 830293. We are looking at youth and entrepreneurship, and my guest is Mr. Michael Nkosi from the YoLIFE project. Now, Mr. Nkosi, if I check the list here, most of the people that you have graduated seem to have graduated in entrepreneurship skills.
Yes.
Yes, why?
You see, we have looked into this issue so keenly, and we realize that the future is entrepreneurship. Why do we say the future is entrepreneurship? It's because the economy right now is in turmoil, and big corporations, like I had said last time when I was on the podium, that actually even big corporations, they are downsizing per se. So now you cannot train somebody in a skill that will only depend on being employed. If they get employed, well and good, but we feel the right way going forward is self-employment, is entrepreneurship, is setting up businesses, setting up innovations, ideas that will enable us be able to bring many on board, and as such will be a self-sustained country. It will be a self-sustained community, will be a self-sustained economy. I want to be quick to mention that when you look at entrepreneurship itself is not just a relative term, and for your own information, it is not a new term. Entrepreneurship is actually coming from it was derived from a French term which means to manage, you see, and entrepreneurship, it's not a very new thing. It started around 1700, in the year 1700, if I should say. The way I would say 2000, we can say 1900, which is 1900. It started in the year 1700. So you realize that even big economies such as America, such as the China itself, they were born out of the entrepreneurship. It's just a pity that we are coming from the Ubuntu background, and for us to be able to do business at the level of entrepreneurship, it has come like a very new thing. Otherwise, entrepreneurship itself is a way to go, and is as seen by the big economies as well.
Now, obviously, just as you have explained that our economy seems to be in turmoil, and according to how we were brought up, we were told when you reach at a certain level, when you reach a certain level in your education, you have to be employed. And now it seems companies are no longer employing, but of course downsizing, as you put it in your explanation. why is it important for young people to be involved in entrepreneurship?
Well, before I respond to your question, if you may permit me, for the sake of the viewer out there, we can, yes, I mean the listener. Thank you. For the sake of the listener out there, you see, we cannot just take it for granted that everyone understands what entrepreneurship is. I want to define it for you in very basic terms. We don't want to complicate matters. Entrepreneurship is basically the activity of setting up a business. It is being willing to take a risk. Okay, so basically that's what is entrepreneurship. Now, you asked a question with regards to why we feel the youth should take up the channel of entrepreneurship. You see, entrepreneurship is what we believe is what is going to give voice to our youth. When we give the skill to the youth, what follows next? It's either they start a job or they set up their own business. Of course, the chances of starting jobs, they are 25-75. They are disadvantaged because it's only 25% of the ones that would really find a job. Otherwise, it's really tough out there. But when they start a business, we believe that they are able to coagulate with their peers and actually bring up substance. They can start up a Kantemba, they can start up a business. Depending on the level of investment, they can actually become SMEs and all those things. And we feel if they start up like that, we are rightly represented because we are the YoLIFE project. The project stands for the ongoing mentorship with our youth. We believe when you are dealing with the youth and you are talking about entrepreneurship, it is not just a matter of giving them skill or maybe you throw the capital there and then that's it. No, we go to them, we work with them, we see to it that actually that business, that investment materialize. We understand that the risk of taking up business is not very smooth in the beginning and maybe in the half span of that business, but I'll tell you, it is not for us to stay in that loss. No, it is for us to end in the profitable side.
You've graduated about at 29 from the time your organization came into existence.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a youth out there who also would want to be doing his own thing. He wants to engage himself into entrepreneurship, but he doesn't have a startup capital. How would you advise such a one?
Well, it's not always about capital. It is not always about capital. Why do I say so? It is because there are many people with money right now. They just don't know what to do with it. They don't have the ideas. I think when we are discussing entrepreneurship, it is
before
important.
we talk of those that have got money but without an idea of what they are going to do with their money, let's talk about a young person out there who possibly the background is not good, the background is not good. He doesn't have a father, he doesn't have a parent, he doesn't seem to be receiving any help from any relative. Then he wants to start doing something for himself. You know,
Mr. Lungu, it's not always about that. It's about time as the youth we graduated. It's about time we changed our narrative. It's not about who is helping and who is not helping. I think I am the best example when you are discussing entrepreneurship. I am a graphics designer by profession. I will tell you right now, I have one of the most expensive computers, not because I bought. I did not have capital, but what I had first was an idea. I think as youths out there, it is important before we look for capital, let's look for ideas. Let's open our eyes. Look at what is affecting us. Let's look at our communities with keen interest to better it and just want to do something different. Because when we are discussing about entrepreneurship, it's a matter of being innovative. It's a matter of being willing to take risks. It's a matter of just being open-minded to explore ideas that have maybe not even been there. We understand it's not always easy. It's some extent it's difficult, but it always seems impossible not until it's done. Nelson Mandela says so. You see, when I started my graphics designing in the year 2008, for the first 5 years, it was actually for free. Why was it free? It was free because I was developing my skills. I was working under a ministry.
So you were working for free or for someone?
Everyone that came to me between the period of 2008 to 2013, they can attest to you that I never charged for anything.
So how were you surviving?
Yes, that's the question. So now, how I was surviving was by just finding something else to do. How I used to do was I would be developing my skill on the other end, but I would also look for pieceworks. Nenzo kwampa maflower ya bantu. I was maintaining people's yards, doing all sorts of things that were necessary for me to do one or two things. I was privileged because I was not fully independent. Of course, I had my own keys, but we were a group of people that would live together, a group of youths, like we were 3, 4, 5 that would live in that one room. So it was.
So you were living with your friends?
Yes, I lived with my friends.
And your friends were providing some of the necessities that you wanted?
We were working as a team. Let me put it this way. They were not always providing. I was not always providing. We were making ends meet by the little that we are earning. When it's morning, someone goes to the east, the other one to the west, south, and all that, trying to find what they'll lay their hands on to be able to do one or two things. And as such, we were at least able to fend for ourselves, and we were blessed to have parents in the vicinity. So when we were unable to be able to thrive, obviously we sought for help here and there, but by and large we did pieceworks, and at the same time I was developing my skills. My friends that were there, but
so you decided to be doing graphic designing for free?
Yes.
While doing other pieceworks?
Yes. I'm actually coming from the background of IT. So I had keen interest in graphics designing, particularly. So in order to pursue it, I had no money to further my studies in graphics designing at that time. So what I did was to lay my hands on the tutorials and on the people that were already in the industry. I just engaged with them and made sure that I became their third hand. I would do the works that they would want me to help with, and of course people that needed my services I would offer for free, but at the same time I was bettering my skill. My eyes were on bettering the skill per se, and not just being quick to get the money. For the 5 years that I rendered the service for free, I became confident enough that by the time it was 5, I started charging 20 kwacha. From 20 kwacha I went to 50 kwacha, and from 50 kwacha I went to somewhere around 250 for.
So how much are you charging now?
Well, it depends with the scope of work.
All right, so you are listening to the Lusaka Star Radio Magazine program, and I'm your presenter, Godwin Lungo. My guest is Mr. Michael Nkosi, who is the founder of the Youth Life Project. Now, Mr. Nkosi, in your explanation, you have said you started your own business. You've been doing your own business, and later you decided to come up with a Youth Life Project. Now, before we talk about how you thought of coming up with this Youth Life Project, let's look at how you managed to overcome challenges of entrepreneurship. I know that entrepreneurship has got its own challenges, and many people don't want to take that risk. They would rather be employed than working for themselves. Very true.
You see, unfortunately, in this world that we are, only the strong gets to survive. You see, it's never been easy. And I'm going to promise every youth out there that want to take off entrepreneurship, it's not easy. It's not easy. There are challenges. And one of the major challenges is ourselves. It all narrows down to discipline. We really ought to be very focused and very disciplined, because and also be patient, because business in discussion is not business, or rather business on paper is not business in practical. People will tell you all good things about business. They will tell you all good things, all good stories, all the success stories about entrepreneurship. That's how come you wonder you've gone to so many what we call these speakers, motivational speakers. You've attended so many talks by the motivational speakers, and yet when you go out there to do one or two things, you still get frustrated. It is because there is a part that is never mentioned. You see, what is never mentioned in those talks is that it's not going to be easy. The way they will explain it, they will give you all the success stories and all the nice tips. The tips are useful, but the success stories, no one tells you what they went through to be able to actually overcome and enjoy the honey that they are enjoying right now. I just encourage every youth to not to throw in a towel, but to venture into entrepreneurship. One, because it is the future. Two, because either way, they will not survive. They will not survive by just getting a job. Because, with how things are going right now in the economy, even those people that are working currently, they are looking for another thing to do for them to be able to survive. They are working, yes, but they're looking for a business to invest in. So now I'm just appealing to every youth that is out there to make sure that they've got that brilliant idea, package it properly. If there is need for you to even patent it with PACRA, so that when you throw that idea to someone that has money, they will not be able to take advantage of you, but you enjoy equal opportunities. And as the saying goes, when people with ideas meet people with money, the people with money will soon have ideas, and the people with ideas will soon have money. So for you to be able to enjoy this exchange, you have to protect your idea very well and be willing to risk. Entrepreneurship, I repeat, it is all about risking. You remember, in most cases, you'll be the first one doing that business. So the chances are that the mistakes, you have to go through them. It is you that will endure those mistakes. The do's and the don'ts, it is you that will have to draw that road. So basically, when we are talking about entrepreneurship, we are saying be willing to throw yourself into this risk. It's worth it at the end of the day. As a youth, with that skill that you have, it is important. It is important that you take yourself to where people will be able to see you and make sure they buy into your idea.
Many young people out there would rather be employed than venturing into a business because they think employment has got more advantages than business. One of the advantage of employment is security. People know that when you are employed, either the company makes a loss or not, by the end of the month, they'll have to give what belongs to you. While business, it's a risk of win or lose. And if they lose, definitely that profit they make every month won't be assured. Would you still encourage a young person out there to venture into business?
Freedom. Who doesn't want it? You see, us, especially the youth, throwing ourselves into employment, to some extent, and for lack of better terms, would call it's cowardice. Why do we say it's cowardice? Because you see, when it's a youth discussing freedom, I think there are more risks in working than in entrepreneurship. Why are we saying there are more risks in working, in being employed, than in entrepreneurship? It's because you don't have the security in the first place. You may enjoy your salary today, just when you are done shopping, the notice of termination comes in. And most of these people that we see working, with their salaries, I will tell you the truth, they are only a month away from abject poverty. And I don't think that you are supposed to work just to fulfill someone's dream. As a youth, I want to believe that we also have our aspirations, our dreams, and all those things. And the only way we can fulfill our dreams is when we are independent financially, is when we are independent, we are running our own things. Because we should always put in mind that when you are working, you are fulfilling someone's dream. You are fulfilling someone's dream. and that person, if it's especially in the private sector, it is an entrepreneur. You are fulfilling someone's dream. It's an entrepreneur who has employed you. So you see, if we venture into entrepreneurship,
so entrepreneurs are employers.
Entrepreneurs are employers, yes.
Obviously, where we come from the townships, compounds we come from. When you, for example, you happen to have, let's say, 5,000, it comes into your pocket. You buy a computer, you buy a printer, you buy a photocopying machine, then you start typing and printing, a business center, photocopying inclusive. Your parents, your brothers, your sisters, and people around you will start asking you to find a better job than what you are doing. And this is how most of the young people out there have been influenced. More especially parents, they feel being employed is better than doing your own business. It's better than you having a business center where you do printing and typing.
You see, that's why we mentioned in the preamble that it's a matter of being focused and being willing to take risks. As a youth, if you put your vision plain upon the tablets, that's what the Bible says. Actually, it says, put your vision plain upon the tablets, that he that may come will be able to run with it. So you see, if you are not plain about what you want to achieve and what you want to do, all these temptations will dissuade you. All these things will come in. All these pressures will come in, because we should be able to understand that not everyone is willing to take risks. And then also, when it comes to families and parents, of course they care for us, but what they look forward for is something that will be able to sustain us. All those things come to play when they look at us and they are looking at us. They are not seeing anything viable that is coming through. That is able to actually sustain us. They will get prompted to start advising us, go for work and all those things. But if you've put up your plan in such a way that even the roadmap it can be clearly seen, I think every well-meaning parent, every well-meaning brother, sister there, guardian, they will be able to encourage you and push you and support you in the best way they could. Because you see, in as much as you may go for work, you go for work, but at the end of the day, many people that we see going for work, they get very, very shameful salaries. So to say, in those salaries, there's transport and there's lunch allowance also, and there's accommodation issues. You find that at the end of the day, someone is remaining with as little as 300-400 kwacha to spare for themselves. But now, at the end of the day, you are subjecting this person to poverty, and you're also subjecting this person to limitation, because they will not be able to amount to anything in their lives, because they will be moving in circles. Every month they are remaining with maybe that 300-400, and the family doesn't understand that that's the life they remain with. All they know is that wasebenza, and all those problems that come in the families you'll be involved in, because mutachani musebenza. No one will even pay attention to how much you are getting. But with entrepreneurship, yes, the starting is always rough. No one promises you that it's going to be easy. But eventually, when it takes off, everyone will start uploading. Everyone will look at you as an example. So before everyone uploads, before everyone looks at you as an example, be willing to take all these risks, to take all these shots. It's never been easy, I repeat. So when you had cited the example of a business center, in entrepreneurship there are factors, and one of these things that I encourage an entrepreneur to venture before they venture into business or whatsoever their idea, it is to identify these three things that are so important. And as I mentioned them, one thing that is really important for an entrepreneur, for the idea to be able to take off without much obstacle, is location. And the second thing is location. And the third thing is location. Why is it so? Because you see, you mentioned of the issue of a business center. Business centers, the nature of the business is that it thrives so much under people that let's say when it's close to schools per se. Let's say in UNZA here, you get to have a business center. You are guaranteed that that business will take off without many obstacles. But if you put up a business center, for instance, I'll cite an example. On the far east of Karingalinga. I think there are less universities, there are less colleges, and there are less people that would need such services. As a result, you will not be able to sustain, you will not be able to pay rental, you will not be able to pay yourself, you will not be able to pay the business, and you will not survive. And I want to believe such are the cases that now the parents and the guardians and the brothers and the sisters will just come on board to advise you to say you can just look for a piece work somewhere.
Despite leading an organization, you are also a successive entrepreneur. Have you ever worked in your life, except for those piece works you were doing?
Wow. I was looking forward to such questions, but it has just come at a point when I really don't have a very good answer. But the truth of the matter is, actually, I have never worked in my life. I don't know how a pay slip looks like. I say so with my head high, because in the heads of people, for one to be able to survive, you must have at least been cherering somewhere, so that people know how much cherera savings. My work, the work that I have done in my life is entrepreneurship, is business, is graphic designing, and these other businesses. So basically, the only work that I have done has been in the sector of self-employment, in the area of entrepreneurship, and not necessarily reporting to this company and then this company. I report my manager into that and that. No, I have never worked.
You are leading an organization, the YoLIFE project, and obviously you've been empowering young people with entrepreneurship skills. What are some of the challenges that your organization has gone through for you to achieve what you have achieved? So far, you have graduated about 29 students.
Challenges cannot be separated, especially when you are operating in the deepest cause of the community, and looking at the people of low income earning areas like Karingalinga, and specifically dealing with the youth, who are a majority of them unemployed. You see, I want to believe that it is a deliberate move by our politicians to keep our youths like that. Our youths are kept at bay, unemployed, because they are a resource to them. And because they are a resource to them, they are actually confirming that what we believe in is actually true. The youth are a resource to the nation at large. They are a resource to the community. They are a resource to the families where they come from. They are a resource. They are a resource to even the organization itself. We've had many challenges, and one of our major challenges has been land and empowerment from the side of the government, because the next phase of our organization is actually empowering our youths, not only with skills but also with entrepreneurial skills, which will enable them start up their businesses, start up their companies, team them up, register businesses, be able to run as a company. And that's what we are going. But now, when you look at all these things, they will demand that we get machinery, they will demand that we get land for operation, we get spaces for operation, and also business from the government. I'm happy that the president yesterday mentioned that about 30 million will go to Zambian contractors and all these other people, Zambian businesses, so to say. Of course, he had put on a disclaimer, say he needs total commitment from the people that to have these deals. And actually, we are looking as an organization, as we are sniffing so hard that our youth should benefit from this, because we'll not wait until they are 80. That's when they get to benefit from such innovations from the government. We want our youth to benefit now, and because we believe they are equipped with the knowledge, with the necessary skill, we know they can deliver. And as an organization, we are looking forward to it, that they get to be given an opportunity to deliver. As such, we just hope the government, even the people, that the powers that would be are actually listening to this same program, that we can actually get in touch properly and finish it off.
Have you benefited from the Youth Empowerment Fund?
Not yet. Ever since its inception, we have applied about twice. we've not benefited, but I want to believe this time around.
You have applied twice.
We have applied twice.
And the applications were not successful.
They were not successful. We don't want to believe what people say. The word out there says the Youth Empowerment Fund goes to people who are affiliated to certain political parties, especially those that are in the ruling party. We don't want to believe that as an organization, because
but your organization has applied and your applications were not successful. What could be the reasons as to why your applications were not successful?
It is because we want to believe we had not given a strong reason to go through then. But I feel now we have more than enough reasons to
In reply, what did they write to you?
Is there anything like reply? There isn't.
So
anything
you
like
don't
reply.
know why your applications were not successful?
No, we'll lie if we say yes.
You were not communicated
We
to.
were not communicated to, and hence we know if it's like that, then it hasn't gone through.
So you have failed to have access to the Youth Empowerment Fund.
No, we have not failed. We have not yet attained the level at which they felt it was befitting for us to receive.
How
So
did
we've
you
made unsuccessful
how
attempts.
did you manage to get funding from other organizations, for example, and fail to get funding from the government?
Well, it is because sometimes other people they listen to you with keen interest. We have not, I want to put it straight, we have not received any funding from any organization yet. We are looking forward to that. We are looking forward to...
But last time you were here, you said there is it someone from Norway?
Yes, so that's where I'm going, so that I stretch out a few things. If you can be able to mix the two, then I want to believe there's a listener out there who has mixed the two as well. So we have received funding from our friends in Norway. It's our friends in Norway. As a matter of fact, my vice president was in. She just went yesterday. She flew back to Norway yesterday. Anne Birgit Follestad-Vod. She was in. So what happened was, we've had this organization running, and we've been sharing the vision with many stakeholders, and we happened to share with our Norwegian friends, and they were the first ones that responded to the call of the organization. So we've not just yet received the response from these other organizations and from the government per se. We still remain hopeful that they come forward, because what we are doing is remarkable. In Youth Life, we believe that fruits don't lie. And as such, you numbers don't lie. You've already stretched the fact that 29 so far have benefited. Well, 29 have benefited. So then you can see something is already happening on the ground. So I want to believe that then we did not have anything to show forth. All we had was the word. And we needed to start from somewhere. And from somewhere we have started. And now we've reached this far. And now, because we are here, I want to believe that we qualify for the government funding. We qualify for other organizations to come on board, and for other well-wishers to actually just come on board and be able to push us to the next level, because we are talking of youth creation centers, we are talking of youth entrepreneurship. So the possibilities are endless. Really, we are looking at this youth as the gold that we have.
We're about to open the lines so that people get to contribute, ask questions, and have their views ahead as well. You've said you've never received funding from any organization.
Yes.
Not even from the government.
Yes.
You've been receiving funding from your friends in Norway.
Yes.
Let's assume that your friends in Norway pull out or withdraw their funding. Will you be able to survive as an organization?
We've survived long before funding, and we'll still be able to survive, because last time I was on radio, I did mention that we are inspired by service. With us, it's about making a difference. Whether money or no money, there is still something that we can do as youth to better our lives. There's still something that we can do as youth to ensure that we have this bright future, to ensure that we have a voice. Of course, money plays a big role, because with money we are able to send 1 or 2 people to school. With money we are able to get machinery, we are able to set up offices. With money we are able to set up businesses and all these things that we do. But I want to assure you that we'll still be able to survive, and we'll still be able effective in a way or the other.
You've said that you have graduated about 29 students.
Yes.
22 out of the 29 have received 100 sponsored by your organization from your friends in Norway.
It's a good question. Had 22 in direct sponsorship. Of course, it entails that our organization, we are just of active existence in sponsorship. They are stretching in 2 years. So now,
so from the sponsorship that you have received from your friends in Norway is what has educated these 22?
Yes, 90% of the sponsorship that we've received from Norway is what has educated the 22. But of course, we've had a few people coming through here in Zambia. Individuals, including myself, with schools, and also the Waddington Center. I remember we had the automaker. And large, it's about seeking opportunities and lobbying for people that will be able to, lobbying for sponsorship from people that would be able to buy into the vision of the organization and be able to send people. Right now, I was just checking K.
Yes, today.
Yes.
So it has dropped by 14.7 to.
Currently, the situation detects that in plans. We are looking at having
a youth empowerment,
so that come January, these matters would have been looked into thoroughly. We are actually on course doing that. Like last time had said, we are on the sitting tables with them, and now we are on course doing that. From here, I'm visiting one institution that is directly responsible, or it also acts as a hub for the youth empowerment, not to be able to benefit.
So be part of the program. There are still you of the to accommodate this caller. Good morning,
Mr. Lungu. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
God is keeping us. How are you there at UNZA?
We are fine. Your name and where you are calling us from?
Thank you. The panelists, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, Simple Kaneo calling you in Osaka.
Yes, Simple Kaneo, you can go ahead with your comment.
Yes, I like must look forward and you'll be able to not just, so as I conclude that Rambo country now. Thank you very much.
So President Mr. Kagoje is not helping you. What we see an end of embassy at South Africa was a group of youth by user. So you should educate those people. What will Kagoje? He should help you to have a bazar. What is the job of Mr. Kagoje? That is a bazar, a loan empowerment. Put him a climate table. hand with kako anatoka po mutomene oroba mu mobility so nile bakakupasa lwa ndira transport bakudondera fuel ko yadumbwira ya ndako kadumbwira. This loan is not helping us. They want the best way.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Your point has been made clear, Dr. Proud. And please stick to the topic. We are looking at youth and entrepreneurship. Why is it important for young people to get into entrepreneurship? What is your advice to a young person out there? Is entrepreneurship a solution to the high unemployment levels we are experiencing? Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning, Mr.
The problem that we educate, wisdom is that you were born with. So the two combined together, I think it makes a person. You can see, I want to say, the question is welcome. Even at the University of Zambia there, so many youth are involving themselves in business. Either they are selling fish, either they are doing welding. I'm at the intercity when you hear people shouting. And these are people 400, and they are funded to produce them. Because the person who come and why have you sold this? That is able to find out what of business that so any these youth that are graduates are funded at.
Good morning, Mr. Lungu. The opportunities are just too many for the young people. You look at the advantages. They have a lot of advantages. They are young. They are youthful. Their strength, cannot be compared to the old. So I think for me, such people cannot be empowered like to get to that wave in the studio there. Then whom are you going to empower? Because there is a young person, who came up with that project, and in coming up with that project, he has helped a number of his fellow youth. Then you are there as a government supporting such a vibrant youth. Then what are you doing? Because if he decided to say, we can't see, let me just, go into the streets and do what every other youth is doing. Then you have lost the future of tomorrow. Who is that young person in the studio? So my appeal is to the government, and even my heart, I know she has got a very big heart. I think is to let her come forward. If we are, young people lamenting like that, then somehow we begin to believe that maybe it is true what the other people are saying. So please leadership. Patriotic plan to support proper government, help such young people so that in the end, other young people also can be helped. But what we should know is that not everyone is going to be in business. But if you find there is Mr. there, who has got that business in mind, then you help them so that other people can be helped as well. Otherwise, I wish you God's blessing. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Possibly you can respond, Mr. Nkosi, to the set of callers that we've had so far.
You see, it's quite encouraging to just get to hear all these views from our dear listeners. You see, some of them, they are speaking for me, actually. Some of them, they are actually encouraging us. You see, this is not something that we can do on our own as an organization. Because the same way we would say no man is an island, I think the same goes to organizations. You could have everything that you ever wished for as an organization, but you still need one or two organizations to come on board to do one or two things. And as an organization, we are very much confident that going forward, especially in the year 2020, we are very confident that the government, they are very listening people, and we know relevant authorities are listening to this program. We know we are going to benefit from the government. Why are we actuating so much on the government? It is because the government are major stakeholders of the organizations in Zambia. And when you look at the youth, we are dealing with the youth in Zambia, and we are dealing with the youth trying to better the future for Zambia. So I mean, we cannot separate the government from, and it's challenging for our friends from Norway to even be able to come through and sponsor us. When here in Zambia, right here in Zambia, we have billionaires, we have people with money in Zambia. And how I wish they can just listen to this program. And if they don't trust us, let them come through, scrutinize us. And if there are things that they wish to see, to find that they are in order, they want to see, they want to table with us, let them come through, table with us. We are looking forward. Our concern, our goal is to see to it that the right youth gets the right resources for the right skill. And for them to be able to have a voice, to get empowered, to be able to be independent, stand and be able to say no to political violence, be able to say no to just crime in the city, in the communities, but instead become better citizenry.
Thank you very much. Let's see if we can accommodate the other set of calls. Good morning. Isetauka bwino ba office moka bwanje.
Izadumbwira capital yami ngabodi.
Izadumbwira bwanje.
Konje muri bwanje. Oh, baba
Bankosi.
Yeah.
Tauka
How are you,
Kayave.
Mr. Nkosi?
I'm well, thank you. How are you, sir?
Fine. Elvis on the line.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Education curriculum.
Very much.
Since the independence we have depended on like the governor of Ntumbachushi have said that employment dependence. If we start at an early age to teach entrepreneurship in schools, maybe we start at grade 7. Those who are very talented in entrepreneurship, you let them continue with those skills up to when they finish school. If you are a technician, if you are a plumber, do you until you finish school so that you have skills. You graduate from grade to come and learn how to make a door frame. That will be very difficult for someone. And I think progressive minds like yours needs to be supported. The government is there to make conducive environment for any business entity which enters into the business arena. As you have said, you have got billionaires in this country. We are not like Rwandese or Indians. Us Zambians, I think we are very stingy. When I have money, I go and stash that money outside the country. I can't. After 2 or 3 months, you find that Rwandese was working in a certain Rwandese shop has got his own shop. Then you start to wonder what has gone wrong. The answer is we have got different categories of youth in Zambia. There are those who you can impart knowledge into and take those skills with them. They are, even if you try to impart skills into them, they won't buy into them. What they will do is play around, drink, and be lazy at the home. So for me, Mr. Kakonje, but you have failed to answer the question from Godwin, my good moderator Godwin. The question he asked you if there are any organization who are funding you. You said you don't have. At the other hand, you are saying you have got friends in Norway. Again, in Zambia, you said you have managed to graduate 29 students, of which 22, some of the individuals have sponsored you. Are those not organizations which are sponsoring you? That's a question you should answer to us, because we need transparency when you are doing something concerning the people, empowering people.
Thank you very much, Mr. Elvis. Your time is up. 0211 29 34 35. Possibly you can respond to Mr. Elvis. He has raised a number of issues that you have to address.
One that I'm particularly interested in, the transparency. The question was if we have organizations funding us. The answer still remains no. We do not have organizations funding us. We have individuals. How this money, why we are saying it is individuals, it is because what has been set up in Norway under the YoLIFE project, it is also registered in Norway, by the way.
So you have a branch in Norway.
Yes.
And the branch in Norway, it's what has been funding your branch in Zambia.
Yes. And the way it works is the way we use Airtel money here. It is how it has worked in Norway, where you get to a place, you talk to people about this program, then an individual says, okay, me I'll put up a 2 kwacha. Oh, a 2 kwacha, send to this number. Oh, this one comes, I'll put up a 5 kwacha. And that's how it is. So I don't think it would be right for me to say we've got organizations funding us. No, but we've got individuals that have actually contributed.
So even the branch in Norway is not receiving funding from their government?
No.
Not yet. So how are they managing to fund their own organization and also helping a branch in Zambia?
It is through running our campaigns. The campaign that we are running right now, this same campaign runs in Norway also. Maybe not on radio, but we go to places where you get to talk to people. You get to share with them what we are doing currently on the ground and what we intend to do. And those same people, if they identify themselves with the project, they are able to come through and put in the little that they are able to.
Are you still recruiting in your organization?
Sure, we are still recruiting.
So those that want to be part of you can come on board?
Yes.
Obviously, at the end, you should give your contact details. But for now, let's continue with the calls. Good morning.
Good morning, David.
Yes, Pastor Mtari, how are you?
I'm okay, sir. And you?
Fine, you can go ahead with your comments, sir.
Good morning, my brother.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. We do manufacturing and crossing.
Okay.
Yeah. So, in your organization, do you have that project?
That is under cutting, tailoring, and designing.
Yes. So, if you have that program, if you have short of manpower, we can come and help you in other ways. Thank you very much.
Noted. Thank you.
Thank you very much. 0211293435. That's another entrepreneur there, Pastor Mtare, coming through and of course offering himself. Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Yes, good morning, sir. You are too faint.
Yes, how are you?
Very fine. Kindly give us your name and where you are calling us from.
Yeah, Brother Morgan.
Yes, Brother Morgan. You can go ahead with your comments, sir.
Yeah, how are you, young man there?
I'm well, thank you. How are you, sir?
I'm just here to tell, although I haven't seen your face. Yeah. to go straight, entrepreneurship. It's about to have a capital. That's the first issue.
Hello? Wow. We're having challenges in getting what Brother Morgan is trying to bring out, as communication seems to be a challenge. Good, 0211293435. That's the number. Come through and of course be part of the program. Remember, you are listening to the Lusaka Star Radio Magazine program. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Moderator.
Yes, good morning, sir. Your name and where you are calling us from?
Triple H on the line, calling you within Lusaka.
Yes, sir, Triple H. You can go ahead with your comments, sir.
Wonderful. The other gentleman, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Tulakuta vintu nivovuta. Vazoona nvakuti kuzisebenzera chiri mushe. But ufunika kuziva kuti pamene nfuno yambo zisebenzera, pamene nfuno chita ni vichani. Pamene nzambo chita, zana ambo nipasako kangono oyai. Usatuka uka chabe, no nifuno zichata vaso. Isakuvuta kusogolo. Zibeta ukumba chabe mifolo. And even before zisebenzera, Mr. Godwin, ni talent. Then ngubalibe out chamena afunika kuchita always ni kuuzi what chita chaso uzaka kwanza kuchita vintu vapo. So the way he is explaining that man in that studio, the college kama funika, not kupushing wa monga ni wiubalo. Ufunika kuona chamene ufunika kuchita ichi. Izakwanisa nina confidence nacho oyai. Not ukaona che muzako no uyu muzanga ni malonda naine nikali na malonda. Uzambo gona wazaka kufaka musaka. So muntu ufunika nkana na college weka nizavichita hivi. Nanga ujana vichita inejiza kanga ni chani. Ndiye tamechi funika. Not no itie ni entrepreneurship tonse tiende mchani. Nanga wafunika wakazi kumba mifolo. So talent ndiye chamene number 1. Naga college. Mr. Godwin, no tivensera ziko mkwambiri.
Ziko mkwambiri. 0211293435 is the number for your live call. Come through and be part of the program. My guest is Mr. Michael Nkosi from a Youth Life project, and we are discussing youth and entrepreneurship. Do you think entrepreneurship is the only answer to the high unemployment levels? Good morning.
Yes, bwana.
Yebo, atibandani zina.
Ndimbamulenga baba voice of Luapula.
Ba voice of Luapula.
Batukira Lusaka. It is important to my youth to personal advice. Zaenda pasogolo. Uyo mugazi bamenya atita bwino. Atotikako vitu. It is important to kupatana na advice ya bwino na kusupport vintu visalubana. Basenzera pamoja. Ota support kintu kiri wrong just because you were ukukuta ndiwe kada. Uchita support. Kanti wamene bavutika kanti waiti ni wambiri kina waburu wati kumansa kumarwapula bavutika just because because iwe ukuta na bana bako iwe usapota vintu vonse.
So mukamba cyane hapa
Cyane mikamba nchakuti chenzi support aba bafana bamene batako vintu vanzero osa support vintu viri longo mu government aba bafana ndio bamene bafuni kupata advice bamene bataka vanzero because bana promise muntu abwera na alina nani kane yake atangiza abantu iyo abwera wambo mustaki so uende patogoro boyi aba bamene bakustaki batiye ni makada zibaziba bakujya vaziko ikomo.
Okay, thank you very much for coming through. We can accommodate a few more calls, then our guest responds. Good morning. Hello, good morning.
Wagotu ni mashukeni mkwani.
Mukwai mwa bukashani.
Awe natubuka wakalamba.
Tulesambirira okulanda ekibemba nombapa.
Okay, natufwa.
Landeni tufa tiniba nani abo? Niba bwalya?
Sweet Boo in the line.
Va Sweet Boo, yes, you can go ahead, Va Sweet Boo.
Yeah, bakalamba mashukeni mwo.
Mukwai mashukeni tata.
Mukwai natufa na mlondolola bwino. So bakalamba itirisheni na efyosine. Mwe ngisha kwa baike bale mwafrishen chito mure bapera kutuma point wakwe batina bela bayashita kwa pamera bafrisha ko lupara ina mwishibati na fishupa mchalo. So fine bakalamba na ife turakitikisha na ngubunga maoda na yatura efine ture oda ture yako tuma tukwacha. So bakalamba itirisheni nangu sikose shani tapale fe twalachita anti upaka bakafume kwaba so vision bakalambe vipine natumfa bwino bakalamba bakurekeresha na posha hapo voice of urapula mwaite wandi upitishe na iwe twe kufa mwaite wandi tepa kureka kunankwe kuntanshi chisu wabakotu irungu mubombe bwino.
Thank you very much. 0211293435 is the number. Come through and be part of the program. We are looking at youth and entrepreneurship. Is it the only answer to the high unemployment levels? Possibly, Mr. Nkosi, you can get to respond to some of the comments, views coming from the people.
Well, listening from the many comments and views that the dear listeners have actually aired, it brings us to the next point, which requires that you see, when we are discussing about entrepreneurship is all about innovativeness, risk taking, vision, and all these things. And I hear some people no, you must have capital and all that. It's not always that capital is money. Sometimes capital is idea. Not just sometimes, most of the times actually. Capital requires their ideas actually. Because it will be easy. Like we had said in the preamble, of which you promised to say we'll tackle it towards the end, and I want to believe this is the end. There are people with money, but they don't have ideas. So you realize that it all narrows down to having an idea. And when you're discussing entrepreneurship, it is not just a thing that is just talked about. Entrepreneurship shouldn't be just narrative. Entrepreneurship should be a doing word, if I may put it this way. It has to be an action, because it is something that requires that you take a step, you take a risk. And as community, as Zambians, for us to be able to thrive in the area of entrepreneurship, it requires concerted efforts. Let's buy local. Let's buy from our people. Let's buy from our youths. We've taken this initiative of youth empowerment in skills, entrepreneurship, and all these things. But it's another thing. We also require support, not only from the government, but from your side as well, because whatsoever that the things that the youths will be producing, we'll need you to come through as our clientele. We need you to come through to support in the best way possible. Because you see, we can have all these things and put up our things, but you opt to buy from other shops, from foreigners and stuff like that. So it will disadvantage us. But going forward, that's why we are saying entrepreneurship requires concerted efforts, because we know if we can buy from our youth, we can buy from our local, even many more youths will be encouraged. Then they'll know this is the way going forward. Before you know it, Zambia will be the next China.
let's get the last set of calls, then we conclude. Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Yes, good morning, sir.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Brother Morgan.
Yes.
Yes.
I don't know what you have.
Okay, I'm sure it is his line. He came through earlier and we couldn't easily communicate. As we get to the conclusion of the program, Mr. Nkosi, there are a lot of young people out there who would want to be incorporated into your organization. How can they get hold of you?
The best way of getting hold of us is through phone call and through our online platform on Facebook. Apart from Facebook, we also have a website. We also have an Instagram. You will be amazed to know that we actually do not have an office, a stationed office per se.
You don't have a stationed office?
No, we don't have, because
Why?
we do not have money for that office. That office would need money to be able to run. That office would need money to do a few things.
But you've sponsored about 29 students who have graduated, 22 under 100% sponsorship and 7 partially. Why have you not channeled that money into renting an office?
It is a matter of priority. We are talking of 29 now because we have not rented an office. Had we had rented an office, we'll be talking of 11. Where do you think it would be meaningful? And it's the reason why we are appealing to the government. It is the reason why we are appealing to the well wishers,
So you have a mobile office?
We would put it that way, but if anything else, the place that acts as an office right now is my home. It's my home, because with Youth Life, we believe we are a family. We are a family.
So the office is at your place?
Yes. Currently, that's where we operate from. We wish to have an office and many more things going forward, but not until we have enough resources. You recall that I mentioned earlier on that it's not like we have these 29 students because we've had so much money. No, it is because of how we have managed our resources and prioritized things that we feel are important compared to just having an office block. And because you see, when you have an office block, it is an expenditure that has to take place every month. You need people to be at the office. You need a few things for the office itself, and you need to pay for that office. So before you know it, you realize that the office will take over 50% of the money that we have used for the 29 students, for the 29 youths who have benefited from this program so far.
You can give your phone number to those that possibly would want to contact you, and other social media platforms name. Okay,
so my phone number, if you want to join the Youth Life project, this youth movement, this organization, this campaign, the phone number is 0977 699 779 0977 69 97 79. That's the number. And then on Facebook, we are Youth Life Zambia. On Instagram, we are Youth Life Zambia. My personal, if you just get to have my number, you have access to my personal WhatsApp and Facebook and Instagram as well as Twitter. Then for the organization's website is www.youthlifezambia.no.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nkosi, for coming through.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much, dear listeners.
All right, and that does it for today on the Lusaka Star Radio Magazine program. We are looking at youth and entrepreneurship. My guest was Mr. Mike Nkosi from the Youth Life Project. I'm Godwin Lungo. Join my colleague Virginia as she comes through tomorrow with another exciting edition of the Lusaka Star Radio Magazine program. Until then, bye-bye.